The first ships appeared over New Delhi at 3:47 a.m. Massive obsidian wedges that seemed to drink in the starlight. Within hours, similar craft materialized above Beijing, Moscow, Washington, D.C., and 73 other major cities worldwide. The world held its breath. Commander Zethkar stood in the command center of the flagship, his 4 eyes gleaming with satisfaction. His species, the Krell, had conquered 47 worlds. Earth would be the 48th. The preliminary scans had been clear: primitive weapons, fractured governments, constant internal conflicts. This would be the easiest conquest yet. Broadcast the ultimatum, he commanded, his translator converting his clicks and whistles into every Earth language simultaneously. Surrender within 1 solar rotation, or face annihilation. In the White House Situation Room, President Martinez stared at the holographic projection the aliens had somehow forced onto every screen on Earth. General Patterson stood beside her, his jaw clenched. "Madam President, our missiles can't even reach their ships. They're holding position at 200,000 feet, well beyond our effective range. What about nuclear weapons? We'd be firing blind. And if we miss, we irradiate our own cities." Martinez looked at the faces around the table. The Joint Chiefs. The heads of intelligence agencies. All wore the same expression of barely controlled panic. "Get me everyone. NATO, the Russians, the Chinese, everyone. If we're going down, we're going down together." What the Krell didn't understand was that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't in its arsenals. It was in its nature. Dr. Sarah Chen sat in a bunker beneath CERN, surrounded by the world's top physicists, all connected via encrypted channels. The Large Hadron Collider hummed above them. "The alien ships use some kind of gravitational anchoring system," she explained, her fingers flying across holographic displays. "That's how they maintain position. But every system has a resonant frequency." A Russian physicist named Dmitry leaned forward on his screen. "You want to shake them out of the sky? I want to turn their own technology against them. If we can generate the right interference pattern, their ships won't just fall, they'll tear themselves apart." "How long?" asked an American voice. 18 hours. Maybe less. Commander Zethkar was confident as the deadline approached. A few primitive aircraft had attempted to attack. Their missiles had evaporated against the shields without leaving so much as a scorch mark. Some governments had tried to negotiate. Others had descended into chaos. All reactions he had seen before. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we're detecting unusual energy signatures across the planet. Multiple locations." "What kind of signatures?" "Unknown. They appear to be particle acceleration facilities activating simultaneously." Zethkar's mandibles clicked in amusement. Scientists playing with their toys while their world ends. How typical. In Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka synchronized her facility's output with CERN. In Chicago, Dr. James Wright did the same. Across the planet, every particle accelerator, every supercollider, every quantum research facility aligned their frequencies to Sarah Chen's calculations. "We have one shot at this," Sarah transmitted to all stations. "If we miss the resonance, they'll know what we're trying and destroy these facilities." "On my mark." She watched the countdown. The equations scrolled across her screen, beautiful and terrible. Humanity had spent decades unlocking the secrets of the universe for peaceful purposes. Now those secrets would become a weapon. Mark. The harmonized pulse erupted from 43 locations simultaneously, invisible but devastating. It rippled through Earth's gravitational field like a stone thrown into still water. Commander Zethkar felt it first as a vibration in his bones. Then the entire ship shuddered. "Report," he barked. "Our anchoring systems are destabilizing. The gravitational matrix is collapsing. Impossible. Their technology is centuries behind. The ship lurched violently. Around the globe, 74 Krell vessels began to shake themselves apart from the inside. Their own technology, designed to keep them perfectly stable, now amplified the interference into a deadly feedback loop. Emergency ascent. Zethkar commanded. Get us out of the gravity well. But it was too late. The harmonized pulse had locked onto their gravitational signatures. The harder their systems fought to stabilize, the worse the oscillation became. Bulkheads screamed. Energy conduits exploded in cascades of alien fire. Over New Delhi, the massive wedge began to crack. Over Beijing, Moscow, Washington, D.C., the same. The ships that had seemed invincible hours ago were now dying, torn apart by the very forces they had mastered to conquer worlds. Zethkar watched his command center disintegrate around him. His last thought was one of profound confusion. How had these primitives? The flagship broke into 7 pieces over the Arabian Sea. President Martinez watched the alien vessels fall from the sky, most breaking up in the atmosphere, others crashing into oceans and unpopulated areas. Around the Situation Room, hardened military officers were openly weeping with relief. Dr. Chen, Martinez spoke into the calm, "You did it. We all did it, Madam President. Every nation, every scientist. We did it together." But humanity wasn't done yet. General Patterson stepped forward. "Madam President, we have multiple alien life pods detected. Survivors. They're scattered across the globe." The room went quiet. The question hung in the air unspoken. "Take them alive," Martinez said firmly. "All of them. We're not them." 3 weeks later, Commander Zethkar found himself in a cell. Comfortable by human standards, humiliating by his. He was one of 2,847 Krell who had survived. The humans had hunted down every escape pod, every survivor, with methodical efficiency. But they hadn't executed them. They hadn't tortured them. They had imprisoned them, fed them, even provided medical care. It made no sense. Dr. Chen stood outside his cell now, a tablet in her hands. "Why?" Zethkar asked through the translator. "Why spare us? We came to enslave you." "Because we're better than that," Sarah said simply. "You came here thinking we were weak because we fight among ourselves. You thought our divided nations made us vulnerable." She pulled up images on her tablet. The Krell invasion had done what centuries of human diplomacy couldn't. The United Nations had been reorganized. Former enemies were now allies. Resources were being shared. Scientists collaborated without borders. "You united us," Sarah continued. "In 18 hours, we went from scattered tribes to a planetary civilization. You gave us a common enemy, and we responded with something you've never encountered in 47 conquests. What's that? Creativity born of desperation. Cooperation born of survival. You've conquered worlds by being stronger. We survived by being smarter." Zethkar looked at the images. Particle accelerators weaponized. Gravitational physics turned into a planet-wide defense grid. In 18 hours. What will you do with us? That's being debated. Some want trials. Some want you returned to your people as a warning. Some want to study you, learn from you. Sarah paused. But what we won't do is become you. We won't conquer. We won't enslave. Then you're fools. My people will return. The Krell Empire spans 300 worlds. Sarah smiled, but there was steel in it. Let them come. We'll be ready. She walked away, leaving Zethkar alone with an uncomfortable realization. The Krell had chosen Earth because it seemed fractured and weak. But humanity's divisions had hidden its true strength. The ability to unite when it mattered most, to innovate under pressure, to turn weakness into strength. They had invaded Earth. expecting an easy victory. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous than a military power. They had awakened humanity's potential. In the months that followed, Earth transformed. The technology salvaged from the Krell ships was reverse-engineered. The particle accelerator network was refined into a planetary defense grid. Radio telescopes turned their attention outward, watching for the next threat. And in laboratories across the world, scientists studied the Krell survivors, learning about their empire, their technology, their weaknesses. President Martinez addressed the United Nations, now a true world government forged in crisis. They came to make us kneel. Instead, they taught us to stand together. They came to conquer Earth. We made them pay, not with vengeance, but by becoming something greater than we were. She looked out at the representatives of every nation on Earth. The Krell Empire will come again. But when they do, they won't find the divided, primitive world they expected. They'll find humanity. United. Advanced. Ready. And if they're wise, they'll remember what happened to their first invasion fleet. The assembly erupted in applause. In his cell, Commander Zethkar listened to the broadcast. His mandibles clicked slowly, a Krell gesture of grudging respect. His people had made a terrible mistake. They had given humanity something it had never truly had before. A reason to stop fighting itself and start reaching for the stars. The invasion had failed. But in failing, it had transformed Earth from a backwater planet into something far more dangerous, a unified world that now knew it wasn't alone in the universe. They had invaded Earth thinking humans were prey. They learned too late that humanity had never been the hunted. When